on this end. I'm going to pack just a little bit. It doesn't take much because there's only a tiny little bit of height difference right there. So, and now the next thing is I'm going to go and show you, because I haven't really showed it in the video anywhere, because I've done the support blocks on that side. So now the next step is I'm going to work on showing you how I put all the support blocks in on this side. Now, I mean, I don't have to really test it with the level, because I've already tested the end of this, and this end is right on the money. Like I said, it's got a little bit to go under this edge, but this is right on the money. So now onto one of the main support blocks. I'm having my wife pull back on this so I can dig under it without banging into it. So that's what I'm doing here. So you can see it's after like 4 test fits, it's right on the money, right where it's got to be. It's literally like a 1/16 of an inch low on this side. So it's right on the money on this side, and a 1/16 of an inch on the other side. So it's right where it's got to be. Now on to the rest of them. Got my helpers in here. They're filling in the holes. Putting the work. So I've got all the blocks in. Support blocks are in. So I have a couple more things to do. They're exactly where they have to be level wise. I got what, 4 blocks. They got to go on that outside rail. So, and then I have to fill this area here. Got to bring in a good inch or so of dirt, maybe more. Is this fun, guys? Yeah. I love it. They love the work.
I just like playing with dirt.
Oh, you're just playing.
Like this flew up and hit me.
Oh, nice. Did it feel good? You don't know? All right. I've used my excavator to backfill some dirt to try and get everything as close as I can before I put the pool up, or put the sides up. So I'm working on leveling everything out, and I got the extra dirt I tossed in here, and you can see over here I've already raked it out, but I put a little bit of dirt, a couple piles, to fill in the low spots, and then I'm going to hand tamp them. But you can kind of see, let me go back here. Got all the supports in, all the blocks in, and on the one side I still have to do a couple of, right around here. So I just got to get this side. There's a low spot right in here, and then right around there is a low spot. So like I said, there's a lot of work involved in this, and it's all about saving time, sweat equity. So get back to raking this stuff out, and then after I rake it out, I'm going to hand tamp it, and we should be pretty close. Put the walls in and get ready for the sand. I've got it pretty much leveled, and I'm working on hand tamping. You want to talk about getting your ass kicked? This 10-pound weight, I guess it's about 10, maybe 15 pounds. After lifting it up and slamming it down a few hundred times, you get your ass kicked. supposed to be. And the center straps in the pool here, bolts have to go into it. They're in and be tightened shortly here. I'm putting in the side supports, which are pretty simple. I mean, you know, it's really just this bracket, and there's a groove that it goes in. And just slide it in one. And we're putting this back together from a point where it was a pool that was built already. So if you were building this from scratch, you'd have instructions to follow every single step of the way in putting this together. So you can't slide them easily if you drop it straight in. If you were to sit there and drop these in, if you were to sit there and just try to drop it in straight, it'll bind all the way down. So what you want to do is tilt it outwards a little bit and slide them together. And that's the beauty of an Ester Williams pool. These walls are really strong and they're really simple to put together. You just literally dropping the panels in one at a time. Now we have it in sections of like 3 and 4, so I literally am just here. I got 3 pieces of panel and get it lined up. We go on to the next 4. Along here installing the walls, we marked, and I'll show it in film shortly here. We marked all the pieces, and we get to here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to hit this section of where the filter's at, the intake for the filter here. So we got 5 sections of the post over. Now I'm going to slide these 2 pieces together and then go to the post. Move your hands for a second. Okay, now Nicholas, you gotta touch the post. Watch. Off the wall. Same thing. Okay. Now with the post, we have a screw to hold it to the bottom ring. And my assistant is going to put it on the other side. Oh, I got the screw in place with the nut. Now I leave it a little loose because it's just kind of floating on this ring. It's just going to attach it, so there's got a little space in here. The wall's loose on it, but it's attached to it. So on to the rest. Here is, as we're putting this up and just ripping off a little duct tape. This is a temporary hold. I've been taping it on the inside because, well, we've repainted this entire pool, and I don't want to tear the paint off of the finish, so I tape inside of each one of the posts. And you can see, to hold the wall in place all the way along, I've taped every single one of them. You know, it doesn't hold great, but it holds long enough for us to, you know, get the rest of this in, get the sand in, get the caps on to hold it. You can also see here at 23, you know, we kind of all the way around. We started at 1 over here in the corner, and we got 1. We did like groups of 4. You know, 23, 23, you know, all the way along. So it kind of gives us an idea, especially down here. Where we have our posts, you know, you see S11, 11, 11. We did a whole section of 11. So it was like 4s of You can do it. You can label it any way you want. You can put them in order numerically, all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, to give you an idea when you take the pool down, what goes where. So, what I had said in the video before: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Intake for the filter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Center section for the light and the water going into the pool, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then post. And there we have it. I got 5 tons, a little more than I need delivered. But there's my pool sand. I got 5 tons of sand delivered. The instructions call for like 3 tons of sand or 4 yards for this size pool. So I got a little extra because I'm gonna throw it out there where my deck is, outside the pool. So if I have extra, it's going outside the pool. It's not going to waste. But for right now, it doesn't look like much, but that's 5 tons of sand. Just saw the dump truck dump 5 tons of sand. It's a little more than we actually needed, I think. We'll see. It called for less, so I'd rather have overkill and waste stuff on the outside of the swimming pool area. So basically, I need 2 inches spread from end to end on the pool, and then I want to put it up the sides too. So right now I'm working on hand shoveling out to the area, basically just trying to get it, you know, all around the whole pool. I got like a half hour or so hand shoveling, and I've got half of it done, so I've got the other side to work on. What I've done here is I have the pool completely constructed all the way around to the last one. Here, let's see, zoom out. So I left one section open so I could go in and out, but I don't want this wall falling over, so I tethered it to one of the main supports like this on the other side, and then I have it going tied to something on this side so that this can't fall over. Now I'm going to really get this sand done. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm hand shoveling, but what I'm doing, or trying to do, is equally put the sand everywhere. Before I even rake it, I get it as close to the depth I really want. So a good scoop on the shovel makes for a good couple inches. So you're pretty much just working my way around, scoop at a time, even when I work my way inward. It's a lot of work, but we'll get there. See here, I'm getting the floor leveled and tamped, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here. I have a 10x10 tamper that's available anywhere, any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. And all we're really doing is, and I'm not doing it hard, I'm just doing it hard enough to get it nice and flat. Just going around, getting it flat. Now the type of sand that's used in here, it's considered swimming pool sand. All right, so real quick, that's what I did there. It's considered swimming pool sand. Let me pause for a second here. My train of thought. All I'm going to do is lightly drag across it. It evens it out. Those little marks and stuff. All right. So what I was saying is, this sand here is a swimming pool sand, or a professional. They use it for a professional sandcastle building. And while I have this mound of dirt in the pool here, as I'm spreading it around, you can see I got my son who's building a sandcastle fort. So this sand is a very, very packing sand. Look, I take it from nothing. Here, handful. It packs really nicely. So it's very good for building sandcastle forts, and that's what I said. You'll see it in professional sandcastle building competitions. Where I'm from, South Jersey here, there's sand plants all over the place that ship this stuff all over the country. So, but this is the #1 stuff for putting in the bottom of the swimming pools. So keep that in mind when you're doing the pool. Don't use silica sand. Silica sand, if you're inhaling the dust from it, causes cancer. This is play sand or beach sand, used for professional sandcastle building. So use it in the swimming pool because it packs nicely, makes a beautiful bottom. And if you do it like this, where you go around hand tamp, there won't be a ripple or anything. You can get this stuff so nice and smooth. It'll make a beautiful bottom in the inside of the pool. When you walk across the bottom, it'll be flat and level, and you can almost walk across it while you're doing this. I can walk out and across this and barely leave a mark in it with my feet after I've tamped it. And if you have to, and you want to make it more pack better, you just lightly hose it with just a shower of water, and that will make it pack even better. It makes beautiful sandcastles. Right, Nicholas? Yep. All right. I'm about the center of the pool here, and I'm working one side at a time. But what I'm doing is I started tamping all the way around the edge, and I'm kind of going back and forth into a U shape, and I'm staying to the center of it. And as you tamp it, you can kind of tell when you get a high or low spot. Doing two things at one time here, multitasking, filming and tamping. So you can kind of see that's a low spot. The tamper didn't really get to it. See, it's low, so it should look nice and smooth. So I go kick a little sand in there, hit it again. Right, well, now I got another low spot. Kicking more sand in there. Alright, let's try it again. You get the idea. I'm working back and forth because this is where I've been walking in the center section. So, it's like painting yourself out of a room. Just keep going until you're out of the area. So I got pretty much one half of the pool tamped. I gotta go back and lightly drag it so it knocks some of those ridges down, and then we'll go from there. Sand dries out and it doesn't pack as well. I mean, it does pack, but I'm just rewetting the sand just a little bit, not anything crazy, just enough so it'll pack nice and smooth nice. Fine spray. And you kind of look around the pool here and you see, like, focus on my finger over here and like right there. There's a few of these that are a little high, so because the walls are together, they're a little tight. So you get out your rubber mallet and you want to just go around, because you're not moving any of these by hand, because once the wall goes together, it binds it, so that way it really doesn't move. So you just want to go along, give some love taps. It doesn't take much to move it. Get them in line. All right, so I've got this area pretty well covered, and I'm getting ready to close off the final wall here. So before I do, instead of contaminating the area with the dirt from the outside, I'm gonna kick my shoes off and close this wall off, fill in the sand and everything. So that's where I'm at now. All right, we're on the last piece here, and you want to get the gap as close to the width of this piece. Now the whole thing with this is, like I said, these panels go in. When you go in on an angle, and they bind as they're in. So, but now the problem with this last piece is you have two that you're putting together and they're binding together. So it makes it difficult to get this down. I mean, it gets to the point where you can barely get it. So gingerly tap this. You don't want to like be pounding on it and bend it over or something. You'll ruin your last piece. So you literally just very easily tap it. Pretty much it. On that hold the liner in place, you have to tape these joints. So I just like to get white duct tape and stick it in there, just tape it. Bottom radius of the pool, we got it pretty smooth and level, exactly where I really need it, or as close as I can get it. What I got here is some beat up, there are mats to lay on for like the groundwork on the cars or something. I bought them at Harbor Freight. Pretty much anything to distribute your weight. I'm walking around on my bare feet in the sand, and with it tamped, I just barely leave a foot mark. I don't even want that. So I'm putting these down as I walk around the edging to keep from leaving any marks. And I'm going to go back very shortly here and finish off after the edging's done. So what I'm doing is putting the mats down, so, and to do the edging, taking the scoop, and I'm going along the edge here. It might be easier if you go out that way. Going along the edge here and putting it right along the edge. Now I have, you can see I have 2 mounds that are really left out of that 5 tons of sand. The other thing is, maybe a little closer. Bird poop in the pool. There's 2 spots. When I did the pool, it's pretty damn level. I mean, the main thing concern was the walls being exactly where they have to be. The ground was close, but it kind of tapered from that end to this end downward just a little bit, maybe like an inch. So when I put the sand down, I'm trying to get the sand as level as possible in here, and it's almost exactly level everywhere you go. The one way you can tell how deep everything is take your finger and you just push it in the sand. I literally, I'm almost 3 inches here, and you can move around the pool. Out that end, I'm at like 2 inches. This end, I'm like closer to 3 inches. So that's your best way of seeing how deep the sand is. You don't want to be an inch under the pool. The more under the pool, the better. But the more sand you put in here, the shallower the pool gets, and also where the seam for the liner ends up for the pool. So my ground wasn't exactly level, so there's more sand in here to make it level, and that's why I bought extra. And I also threw like a half a ton, maybe a ton of sand on the outside. I definitely had excess. So anyway, back to what I was doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing a scoop at a time in this edge, and then I'm taking the shovel, and about the width of the blade, now that's not the edge I want though. We'll pause the video for a second.